In today's video, now that the brand new Simpsons season is finally here, and I currently have the best controller settings for all controller players, no matter if you play on console or PC with controller. Because overall, these controller settings will give you AIMBOT. And make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video, and if you guys are new here, make sure you use code KILLA in the Fortnite item shop. And for all my non-qual players, I'll be showing you guys my controller binds and everything else you guys will need to have the best controller settings. And now it's time to jump right into the controller settings. If you guys play on console, make sure to turn this on so you guys run with 20. And keep this at 100 so your brightness is perfect. Same thing with your user interface, keep that at 1x because if not, your menu is going to be super dark. Same thing with your colorblind mode and strengths, max these two out so it helps with the shadows because in Fortnite on console, the shadows are terrible, especially in bushes. Motion blur, turn this off so your clips look good and so you guys don't have any really delay because I heard a lot of people say it actually gives you delay. Same with this, turn this on, and you guys can opinion based turn this on or off, it's really up to you. Same thing with the volume settings. These settings are really opinion based. If you guys say like loud or quiet, it's really up to you. Same thing with this, but this is very important. Make sure to turn this on. You'd be surprised with how many people don't actually have this on. Jumping right into our voice chat settings, I was going to show you guys this because it's very common for everyone to have the same thing. And going right into our game UIs, I basically am an each player on console. And for my settings, I have toggle sprint on, auto open doors on, both of these settings maxed out. And on my combat, I have these two off and these two on, especially auto pickup, especially when I'm running and gunning. It's easy to pick up guns that I want and ammo and mats without having to look through the loot. Especially with this is a really important setting to have on. And if you guys haven't messed with this, I think this is one of the most underrated things that most people don't really talk about because when you load in, it's easier to have your guns in a certain place instead of actually trying to rearrange them and get shot for no reason. And if you guys didn't want to mess with that so much, then you guys can just have all your consumables, meaning your heals, all the way to the right while your guns are always in the front. And for your building, I always have these two on. Editing, I never like simple edit, so I always kept this off. On, both. This doesn't really matter. And for the extra stuff, I always kept these two on. This is going to be opinion based. I found that these are my sweet spot, especially when I'm on PS5 for console. I'm not sure how it feels on Xbox. So if I was for you guys, I'd kind of mess around with these two settings just to see how they feel. Same with these. I have these just on. This has bar. Replays on. I kept these off. And obviously in creative, you do want replays. And if you guys want your console to sleep after a certain amount of time, it's very simple to do so. And for my game UI, I always kept my reticle on. I'm not sure why people would have it off, so keep it on. And obviously, all these settings should be on. This is a opinion-based thing, because if you guys want it to be the first one or the second one, it's really up to what you guys want to see when you're shooting somebody. Same thing with the hit only. And obviously, you don't want your damage to be too small, so you can't read how big or small you hit somebody, so always keep these at 100. HUD scale, this is opinion based as well. I keep mine at 50 so my clips look good and so I'll be able to see everything just in case someone's behind a small structure or even in a bush. It makes things so much easier to see. Same thing with all these settings, right? You want to make sure all these settings are on. And for the gyro settings, I haven't messed with them too much, but I heard they cause so much delay when you guys do turn them on. So make sure all these settings are either the same or copy them to your liking. And finally, what everybody's been waiting for is my most updated controller settings. And yes, I do change them after every season and even after every update because sometimes I feel like after updates or even season changes and my controller settings just feel different. My aim is off, my builds are off, and even sometimes my edits just feel a lot slower. So let's jump right into it. So for the first setting, I have this off, and for the second setting, I do have this on. I have this off, auto run obviously on, and if you play on Builder Pro, make sure to have this on. And keep these at 0.1 because I've never seen anyone play with them with higher than that, honestly. Same thing with your slide hold time. Keep this as low as possible. Reset camera axis. Make sure to have this at both. Some people do play at pitch, but I see a lot of pros say to play on both. Reset camera time. Make sure, like I said, have this at the lowest. Vibration. No one wants to play with a controller with vibration. It just doesn't feel right when you're editing or even trying to shoot. And now basically the settings that matter the most, because these settings don't matter too much. I haven't got into them, so skip right over them, my guess. And going into my controller settings, what everybody's been waiting for, my look and aim has always been 4 for years. I can't stress that enough. And the thing that I change a lot is my build and edit mode, just because sometimes I feel like it needs to be faster or sometimes it needs to be slower. But for now, I think I'm going to stay at these because I feel like it's perfect. And for my first person mode, I always kept it at 1.0. And to unlock the next settings and going forward, you guys do need to turn on advanced options. For a lot of people that actually don't have this on, these settings do make a difference. So for the look and vertical, I've always stayed around 40 to 44. I always thought that was a sweet spot. And for the boosts, I've never used them, so I always kept it at 0. Same thing with this. Always make sure this is at the lowest setting possible, so 0.0. Instant boost when building. Make sure to always have this on because it does help. Same thing with the aim down sights. This is very, very important because all these settings kind of tie into each other to make it into one so it feels and acts and controls a certain way. So for this, I always keep it between 12 and 16. It's a really good sweet spot. So if you guys think 12 is too slow, go up to 16. I really wouldn't pass it because I've never went past 16 because it's always been perfect tracking, which I'll show right here. And then with the boost, I've yet to touch them, like I said, with the one above. Same thing with this. Keep this as low as possible. Scope speed multiplier. Some people have it at 1. Some people have it higher than 1. But I always kept it at 95 because for some reason it just felt more perfect than it was at 1. So that's up to you. That's in a most opinion-based setting that I think I could tell you guys. Always have this as low as possible. Same thing with this. Opinion-based if you want to be on linear or expo. I've been a big fan of linear, so keep that on linear if you guys do want to. Same thing with this. You guys obviously don't want to play on 50, so keep this on 100. Same thing with tracking. Keep that on 100. I've yet to copy or play with these, so don't mess with those. You guys might mess up your settings. Same thing with left stick, right stick, dead zones. I've always played 5 to 7, which I think is my sweet spot for either or if you guys do have controller stick drift, with I sometimes do have, put this at 10, right? Depending on how bad it is, sometimes I used to have to put it up to 15. I know people who's been up to 20, which is kind of insane. So if I was you, I would just keep it at 15 or even try 10. Depending on which stick needs it the most, put it the highest one. Same thing with L2, R2 release. A lot of people has been struggling to find the perfect setting. I think 25-25 is literally the perfect setting. I've even asked pros and they said they play 25-25. So don't change that. If you guys do want to copy it, make sure to copy those. Same thing with this, off and on, 0-0. Vehicles, these two don't matter. Jumping right into our controller binds, if you guys want to copy them, be my guest, but you guys do need to turn on custom to be able to do so. And if you guys are a non-claw player or even a person that plays on Scuff, these controller settings are going to be perfect for you. So I'm going to go straight down the line, and if you guys play on Scuff, you guys can change any of these binds to something that would fit you more personally, or if you guys have a button that you guys aren't using that you need to bind.